There are still hurricane force winds and rain coming down on us, and yet these people are going out and pulling people from their houses, from on top of their houses. And that is the scene all across this island tonight. Everyone is in the dark, there is no power, the wind is still howling. There are times when it sounds like a jet engine roaring next to your head.
Windows are broken, and now water is coming through those big windows you see over there. Water is everywhere.
This is all volunteer. People are coming, they're bringing their jet skis, they're bringing their boats. They're going to get their neighbors, they say. Everyone says they know of people. They say it's very hard to navigate because there are, of course, no more streets. And yet they are doing it. It's not safe to be out on a boat right now. It's not safe to be out here at all.
I think everyone here is pretty much in shock. It's utter destruction everywhere we look. So everyone's kind of happy that we're alive.
We're trying to do the rescue here in Freeport.
How many people are out there still?
A few hundred.
And it's tough to get out there and get them.
And it's tough.
How long are you going to keep doing it?
Until we get everybody. We're Bahamians. We're not going to stop until we get everybody in.
Fighting climate change is going to take all of us. The goal is to slow down human greenhouse gas output to allow the global temperatures to find a new equilibrium so that our grandchildren and great-grandchildren can survive. If we all work together to solve this seemingly inevitable future, we can do it without destroying the global economy. I replaced all of my old light bulbs with these LEDs. They last a long time. It's one of the easier things you can do. I recycle. Recycling just one aluminum can saves enough energy to watch TV for 3 hours. Replacing a quarter-pound burger with a chicken sandwich would be like reducing your commute by 13 miles. Just think efficiency, like my pre-owned hybrid car. It's not perfect, but it gets 37 miles a gallon, and my old car got 25. Now, every spring, I plant a small container garden on my patio. It doesn't produce much, but I don't have to drive to the store to buy a tomato all summer. Hey, I get it. I grew up in Nebraska where beef is king, but a tomato sandwich on a hot day, I'm pretty much all in. Start small and think big. It will take a village, and probably then some, but your grandchildren are counting on you.
A protest like this is not normal in communist China, but this Chinese city is not like the rest. A place where the freedom to protest is joined by free speech, a free press, and other rights normally found in the West, not in a communist country. Welcome to Hong Kong, a city with just over 7 million people that is technically a part of China, although it operates under what's known as one country, two systems. Hong Kong runs its own finances, education, immigration policy, and judiciary. It was a British colony until 1997, when the UK worked out a deal to turn Hong Kong back over to China, with the stipulation that they continue to enjoy many of the rights they had as British subjects. But that agreement will only last for 50 years, and when it ends in 2047, it could mean that Hong Kong will lose a lot of those rights, as it will be formally joined with the rest of China. There is concern, though, that China is not holding up its end of the bargain, taking concrete steps over the last few years that many in Hong Kong see as Beijing encroaching on the city's autonomy. In June 2019, Hong Kong saw hundreds of thousands march to protest a controversial extradition bill that would allow Hong Kong to extradite certain suspects to mainland China. Critics fear that China's government could simply use the law as a tool to extradite people for political reasons, charges that both Beijing and the Hong Kong government deny. And back in 2014, Hong Kong saw some of its largest demonstrations in decades, a mass protest over how the city's top leader is elected. Activists say the basic law here allows Hong Kongers the right to develop their own democracy and to hold free elections. But Beijing insists that it has complete jurisdiction over Hong Kong and must pre-approve all candidates who stand for the top post. There have also been protests over the erosion of press freedom and what activists say is Beijing's interference in Hong Kong's local political matters. The deal was supposed to last for 50 years, but many in Hong Kong say a lot of the rights they've enjoyed for so long are now being taken away far faster than they expected.
Dusk isn't when you rest as the Amazon burns, it's when the day cools enough to give firefighters a chance. Everything we see in a bumpy hour's drive to nowhere turned to ashes in the last 4 days. This is how. A wall that marches across the bush and into the trees when it can.
It feels a bit like the end of the world, doesn't it? And when flames rage like this, the firefighters actually have to pull back. And there's nothing they can do, really, until the wind dies down.
Destruction that overshadows an entire branch of our species here.
The Tenyarim are an indigenous community, 1,000 strong, who say they legally own nearly 1 million hectares nearby.
The next generation will have a darker future, he says. Since this president came to power, these things are happening a lot more. President Jair Bolsonaro is keen to bring what he calls progress to the Amazon, even pushing to let these areas be commercially farmed for the first time. The raging fires, all of which here have burned since he pledged to send 43,000 troops, clear land for farming too. The sun rises again on a little bit less of this marvel.
The Tenyarim didn't want to be part of our world, but now it wants part of them.
All around are signs of what's fueling the inferno. Land cleared for cattle, so we can eat more beef. Logging and deforestation to enable crops like soy to grow line the busy roads. The firefighters that tackle the blaze here are 3 hours' drive from the nearest village. This is the land we flew over 4 days before, but the devastation is more final from the ground. Fires do occur naturally in the brush, like Bolsonaro says, but it was startling how nearly every policeman, firefighter or official we spoke to said very many are caused deliberately. To clear land, to farm, to alleviate poverty, or just make the rich richer. Yet they don't have the water here to put the fire out, only stop its spread. Damage limitation only, with the most basic tools on the front line of this global environmental crisis.
Nick Payton-Walsh, CNN, the Amazon, Brazil.